And streaming on crossroadstoday.com. Puerto Rico experienced a nearly island-wide power outage on Tuesday. We have the latest on the number of residents without power. And a record-breaking holiday travel period. Learn how many people went through security checkpoints. Plus, the new year means new laws. We learn how new laws will impact medical care, marijuana, social media, and seats at a concert.
And it's the beginning of a brand new year, and in the weather department, we're looking pretty nice for the next few days until next week. We have got a drastic weather pattern change. The polar vortex is on the move. We'll talk about what all that means in the weather coming up.
Happy New Year, everyone. And coming up here in sports, we're going to look back at all of our favorite moments here and from our favorite athletes here from 2024. That's all coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads, and Happy New Year and Happy Year of the Snake.
Oh, is that what it is, Carolina?
Yeah,
the Year of the Snake, 2025. Did you just figure that out? I didn't know that.
I've known for about a week. I like to keep track of the Chinese zodiac. I don't follow it word by word, but it's just fun to know what's out there
That's
culturally.
Pretty cool. I'm actually going to go floorboard. That actually sounds really interesting.
Do you know what year you were born in? I'm year of the dragon.
98.
98.
So I'm gonna go look at what that is.
We're going to look that up.
We're going to go look at that is. But if you're all tuning in with us this morning, it's a bit chilly out there. Definitely nothing in relation to any of the Chinese New Year dragon stuff we were just talking about. But right now, you're looking live in Victoria. We're sitting at 46 degrees. I think, needless to say, that's a bit chilly out there. It's definitely not what we're used to. Usually we're at like 56 degrees, but 46 right now, 2.6 degrees off, bringing that humidity to a much more comfortable 79%. Definitely no need to worry about fog with that level of humidity this morning, but what you will need to worry about is probably a jacket. Maybe just give yourself a light jacket, because down in South Texas, we're all starting out our day in the 40s and some in the 50s down there in deep South Texas, but North Texas, they're starting in the near 30, near or below freezing, 25 right now in Amarillo, excuse me. But around the Crossroads, like I said, we're all in the mid upper 40s, down a little bit closer to the coast, you're all in the low and mid 50s because you're right next to that warm water. But today it's going to be a nice, slightly cool day thanks to lots of sunshine that's going to be encompassing the eastern half of the state. But like I was just saying earlier, we're going to be looking at the polar vortex because that's on the move. We'll take a look what that means later on Sunrise.
The identity of a person who was found dead at a Victoria residence 2 weeks ago is now confirmed. A police report procured through a public records request confirms 46-year-old Nathaniel Brent Marsh was found unresponsive in the 1500 block of East Guadalupe Street on Wednesday, December 18th. And also new this morning, Israeli strikes killed at least 12 Palestinians in the Gaza Strip, mostly women and children, as a nearly 15-month war ground on into the new year with no end in sight. One strike hit a home in northern Gaza, the most isolated and heavily destroyed part of the territory, where Israel has been waging a major operation since early October. Gaza's health ministry says 7 people were killed, including a woman and 4 children, and at least 12 other people were wounded. Puerto Rico experienced a nearly island-wide power outage Tuesday. More than 1.3 million clients were without power in the U.S. territory, and officials say it could take up to 2 days to restore power. According to the private company that oversees electricity transmission and distribution on the island, the outage was likely caused by a failure of an underground power line. While power outages are rare in Puerto Rico, the island's power grid is crumbling due to damage from Hurricane Maria, a powerful Category 4 storm that struck the island in 2017. TSA agents performed nearly 1 billion screenings in 2024. According to the Transportation Security Administration, they screened more than 900 million individuals at airport security checkpoints last year. That includes a record-breaking holiday travel period, which saw roughly 40 million people go through security checkpoints in the last 2 weeks. The 900 million screenings in 2024 amount to about 5% more than the 858 million seen in all of 2023. The new year means new laws. Here's a look at some new laws that will go into effect.
With the new year comes new laws, as legislation takes effect in nearly all 50 states today, some major healthcare changes. New York becomes the first state in the U.S. to offer paid time off for prenatal care or medical care related to a pregnancy. The state also capped the out-of-pocket cost of EpiPens at $100. In Illinois, the price of a 2-pack of the life-saving drug is now capped at $60, and Kentucky is now the 38th state to legalize marijuana for medicinal use. More than 9 million people across 21 states will now see a higher paycheck as new minimum wages take effect, with Delaware seeing the largest jump from $13.25 to an even $15.
Show me the money!
As of today, anyone under the age of 18 in Tennessee will need parental permission before creating a social media account. That law is being challenged in court. In Florida, the enforcement of a new law banning anyone under the age of 14 from having a social media account is being delayed due to a lawsuit. And in California, parents of underage influencers now need to set aside some of their earnings for when they are adults. The law also allows kids to sue their parents for failing to do so.
And yet,
California also enacting a law that bans digital replicas of a person's voice or likeness without their permission. That includes dead people whose estates would be required to sign off. And there's a new law in Minnesota thanks in part to none other than Taylor Swift. New ticket transparency legislation in the state aims to eliminate hidden fees and combat bots from buying up tickets. And it's not just humans who will benefit from the new laws. Poultry will too. Michigan will now require all eggs sold in the state to have come from cage-free chickens. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
Remember, follow us on YouTube, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. The time now is 6:36. Just looking at our clock up here on our Wednesday morning, on our New Year's morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now Sunrise. We learn about the first meteor shower of the year and when we can expect to catch it.
Families welcome in a brand new year with celebrations across the globe. I'm Nicole D'Antonio breaking down some of this year's biggest celebrations.
And also coming up next after the break in the full forecast today all across beautiful Texas. It's going to be nice, maybe even a little bit cool. I'll tell you how nice and cool I think it's going to be near you. But coming up later on Sunrise, that is all going to change next week. Maybe even some winter precip. We'll talk about that next. Well, good morning, Crossroads. You're looking live in Cuero. You can see still plenty clear out there, and so clear you can see a couple stars. There's one right there. I'm sure there's another couple I can't see here on the screen, but if you're all going to go see those stars for whatever reason, or maybe run some early errands, I might recommend a jacket. It is a little bit chilly out there. We're all in the low mid 40s right now, 44 in Cuero. New dew point 7 degrees off is what's bringing that humidity to a much more comfortable 77% this morning. And all thanks to that, because of that humidity being a little bit lower, not expecting fog out there. Usually get fog at about 90-95% or higher. But with humidity that low, that's also going to help us out in terms of clouds, both at the surface and in the upper atmosphere. Not really expecting too much in terms of clouds today. I'm pressing play on your future clouds and radar. You can see just that. Maybe some clouds in our deep southern counties. But otherwise, it's going to be a pretty sunny day today until we get to the late afternoon. We're talking like 6, 7, 8. Maybe 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 p.m. tonight. We're going to start picking up some mostly cloudy skies thanks to the Pacific jet stream, which is coming out of the west. It's going to be moving over us, and we'll also have some clouds build up over the Gulf of Mexico, all thanks to a real weak low pressure system that is trying real hard to form, although that's not going to turn into anything. But temperatures today, it's looking pretty nice. We're looking for highs in the mid and upper 60s today. I'm thinking 67 here in Victoria, same in Port Lavaca. I'm thinking 65 for the high today in Cuero. Before the mostly cloudy skies that build up tonight, that's going to keep our lows tonight at bay in the low 50s and in the upper 40s for some tonight, before temperatures are about the same thing as we saw today going into tomorrow. But in the background today, it is going to be a bit breezy thanks to the front that we had come through Monday night. That's why it's a bit chilly out there this morning. And it's going to be a bit breezy, especially breezy down on the water. So if y'all are going to go down there and go fishing today, I want to let you know there's a small craft advisory with the winds bringing some waves between 2 to 4 feet. So just be careful of that. But as we go to the weekend, we're going to warm up just a little bit before that strong front gets here Sunday night. And we'll look at that coming up next.
All right, Happy New Year, everyone. We've officially made it here to 2025, but wanted to take a moment here to look back at some of our favorite moments here in 2024 here, and also highlight some of our athletes as well. What a crazy year we had here in the Crossroads. We had a lot of firsts with the Ganado Indians winning their first state title there in school history about 2 weeks ago, and the Victoria Generals winning their first ever TCL championship there back in early August.
We have always had great regular seasons, and we were able to put it all together here this year, and testament to all the players, all the fans, host family, sponsors, everyone part of this organization put this together.
With these two big accomplishments, we also highlight multiple athletes here in the Crossroads here who were impact players there for their selected teams. From Victoria East volleyball star Addison Azuna to Tidehaven quarterback Kale Russell, Calhoun volleyball star Neva Rangel, and Ganado quarterback Bryce Ullman, these athletes again provided great entertainment throughout the Crossroads here, making this an exciting 2024 sports year. Now, there were a lot of favorite moments I could have chose from here from 2024, but my favorite moment came from UHV women's soccer player and Victoria native Kylie Spree-Kolash, again breaking the single season goals record there on senior day there for UHV women's soccer. Again, here's a rewind back of how she felt about this moment.
It was great, especially like it being senior day. I think it made it 10 times better. But the fact that Sheila trained me and helped me become the person or the player I am today, I think it really says a lot.
In all, Kylie's historic moment and many other accomplishments capped off a great 2024 sports season here in the Crossroads. Can't wait to see what 2025 brings for all the sports teams in our area. Congrats again for everyone there getting nominated there for our favorite moments and athletes here from 2024. This is Max Williams, 25 News Now Sports.
Families welcomed in a brand new year with celebrations across the globe. Security was on high alert as nearly 1 million people packed Times Square to see the ball drop.
One of the biggest celebrations in America's largest city. Nearly 1 million people braved the soggy, wet weather to ring in 2025 in Times Square. ABC's Ike Ajachi was there.
We are here in the center of Times Square. The pomp and circumstance is on a level of 10. And as you can see, the confetti is falling from the skies. I'm a sucker for you.
The Jonas Brothers and Carrie Underwood taking the stage to perform for the crowds. The festivities also kicking into high gear around the world. From the massive fireworks display in Hong Kong and the light show in Beijing, to the streets of Paris and the beaches of Rio de Janeiro. In Australia, fireworks in Sydney lighting up the Harbour Bridge as one of the first countries to welcome in the new year. All this as security remained a top priority across the globe this year, following the attack in Germany ahead of Christmas.
A vehicle ramming incident is why we have the sand trucks, the blocker cars, and all of the other resources that we'll have.
In New York City, the NYPD deployed thousands of officers, plus drones, boats, helicopters, and bomb-sniffing dogs. And in Chicago, additional police officers foregoing time off and working extended hours to keep everyone safe. Right now, hundreds of sanitation workers are on hand to clean up the confetti and streamers across Times Square, a process that takes all night to pick up roughly 100,000 pounds of debris. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
The new year is coming in with an annual Quadrantid meteor shower set to peak Friday. The shower is already underway, as some people may have caught it on New Year's Eve. However, the annual Quadrantid meteor shower is set to peak during the early hours of Friday before dawn, and that's when people in the northern hemisphere will have the best chance of seeing the shooting stars. The Quadrantid meteor shower is caused by debris from an asteroid called 2003 EH1, which takes more than 5 years to complete one orbit around the sun. The celestial show will stay active until January 16th. And the time is now 6:45 on our Wednesday morning. Still to come on Sunrise, we take a look at some of the top stories from the last year. Okay, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to John. Hope you and Augie have a great time celebrating. Best New Year's birthday wishes from your friends in Victoria.
That's right. Happy birthday and Happy New Year's, John. And also happy birthday to Homer. Homer, hope you have a bright new year surrounded by only the best company, friends, and family.
And And happy birthday to Grandmaster Flash. The groundbreaking DJ is 67 today.
Ooh, happy birthday, Grandmaster Flash. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, come to crossroadstoday.com, click the drop-down menu, then click the Home tab, and then you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo.
And I need to take this opportunity to correct myself.
Oh.
The Chinese Lunar New Year doesn't start until January 29th.
Oh, there you go.
So we can still have some time to
Still got some
prepare.
time for that, that's right.
And find a local celebration.
That's right.
Well, happy birthday if you're celebrating one today. The
That's
time
right.
is now 6:46 on our Wednesday in our New Year morning.
That's right. Happy birthday and Happy New Year's if you're celebrating with us. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. I'm sure you heard me talking about earlier on Sunrise, the polar vortex that's on the move. Yep, that still looks like it's the case. Well, we're going to talk about all that here right now and see what that means for y'all, because I'm sure a lot of y'all are probably a little bit freaked out by what I was just saying. Well, we're going to start out with a satellite. You can see over the eastern coast, actually over the northeast, big old system over there dropping all sorts of winter precip. We're talking freezing rain, snow, and all sorts of rain. That's why you saw on the New Year's Eve ball drop last night in New York Times Square. It was all sorts of rainy out there last night. That system that you can see over there off the northeast is going to continue its current path heading northeast into the Quebec region, actually over here in the eastern Canadas, the provinces over here. But that moving northward is going to combine with another system that's coming out of the Pacific. You can see it right here. Both those two will combine, and those will be dragging or pulling the polar vortex. You can see it right here, spinning counterclockwise, very big vortex spinning over Canada right now. That is going to be dragging the polar vortex a little bit further south as we go into the weekend and into early to mid next week. You can see it a little bit better here on the upper air tracker. You can see going into tomorrow, you can see that first system going to move a little bit further north, and then here comes that next one coming out of the Pacific, and those two will pull the polar vortex a little bit further south, and that's going to send us a strong front for Monday night. And depending on how cold it is after this front on Monday night, we could maybe be looking at winter precip. I'm going to look at all that and more coming up later on Sunrise.
A new year is here, but let's take a moment to look back at the top stories of 2024. 25 News Now reporter Trenton Whiting has an overview.
There are several stories deserving of a mention. Victoria celebrated its 200th birthday this year and had an election that saw Dwayne Crocker become the new mayor. In Calhoun County, we saw the loss of County Judge Richard Meyer and learned about his successor, Vern Lissy. More in elections, A.J. Lauterbach earned a spot in state Congress. Now, time for Channel 25's top 5 stories in 2024. Shamrock Products LLC caused a huge story to start the year, spilling about 300 barrels of oil and other material into the Port of Victoria. That's equal to 12.6 thousand gallons. Luckily, there were no risks to nearby communities once it was contained, but it did give off a rancid smell.
Bloomington residents face a big decision in May, whether to incorporate their town or not.
And that decision started off with some split opinions. Talk started including just portions of the community to become the Village of Bloomington. Some didn't want to incorporate at all. It took several town hall meetings, but Bloomington decided to include the whole area with a rally cry, "Bloomington is stronger together." Jonathan Smith ran away from police on a motorcycle, just gifted to him from his father. The results were nearly deadly. The 20-year-old entered a medically induced coma after the wreck, and his family members expressed disappointment at the Port Lavaca police for chasing a motorcyclist. PLPD says it could have all been avoided with a simple stop. Hector and his son Angel Jaramillo were missing for over 5 days after what was supposed to be a routine fishing trip. A storm in the area capsized their boat, which was found in the Matagorda Ship Channel. On June 5th, they found the sad conclusion to that trip, along with their bodies, discovered near the old Alcoa plant in Point Comfort. A beachside vigil was held in their honor. From the sea to the air, more catastrophe landed in Victoria on top of a busy road.
A plane crash in Victoria sparks a major investigation as officials work to figure out what went wrong.
What did go wrong was the pilot running out of gas before making it back to the Victoria airport. The plane struck 2 light poles and 2 vehicles on the way down, and several people went to the hospital. The intersection was closed until the wreck was cleared.
For 25 News Now, I'm Trenton Whiting.
And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code on your screen to take part. We want to know, was 2024 a good year for you? Okay, let's take a look. 29% of you say yes. 42% of you say no. 29% of you say sort of. Come to crosswordstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. We take a look at a wreck that happened on Laurent Street in Victoria on Tuesday. Breaking this morning, the New Orleans Police Department is on the scene of a major incident on Bourbon Street that's now being described as a terrorist attack by the New Orleans mayor. Preliminary reports say 10 people were killed and 30 injured after a car plowed into a group of people. Eyewitnesses say they saw a truck slam into people on the left side of a sidewalk. People are being advised to stay away from the area. 4 people were found dead inside of a home in Washington State on Tuesday. They say it is too soon to know whether the incident could be ruled a homicide, but they have ruled out carbon monoxide poisoning as a possible cause of death. An investigation is ongoing. A crash on Tuesday left multiple people injured. Around 3:15, 3 vehicles collided at the intersection of East North Street and North Laurent. All involved were transported to the hospital for treatment. Victoria County is holding a ceremony for officials who were voted in or re-elected during the most recent election season. The elected official oath of office ceremony is at 11 a.m. today at the Victoria County Courthouse. Each mile of the Texas border wall costs between $17 million and $41 million. At this pace, construction would take more than 30 years and cost, as state budget analysts estimate, up to $24 billion. And we want to invite you to experience our new digital streaming service, Crosswords Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search for Crosswords Today Plus. And now let's get a look at our forecast with Parker, Firstborn Star team meteorologist Parker Cox. Parker, it's kind of pleasant this week, but we got to brace ourselves for next week, huh?
Yeah, next week is going to be a completely different story. I can guarantee all that. We're going to be most likely experiencing our first cold snap of the season. Now, depending on, we're still unsure how cold it's going to get or if we're going to see winter precip, but I want to let y'all know that it is a possibility and it is in the cards. So we're going to keep on watching that all the way until next week. But before all that gets here, you're waking up to a beautiful sunrise over the coast this morning in Port Lavaca. A little bit chilly out there as well. So if you're going to go see that sunrise or go run your early morning errands, I might maybe grab a real light jacket because it's 52 right now in Port Lavaca. Everybody else, we're all starting out in the mid and upper 40s this morning in the Crossroads. But across Texas, we're looking at a bit of a cool day. Highs in North Texas in the 40s and 50s. Down in South Texas, we're looking for highs in the 60s. But looking a little closer to home, I'm thinking 67 for the high today in Port Lavaca. Not too warm, not too cool. Pretty nice today, I think. Lots of sunshine to accompany that, with maybe some clouds in the late afternoon before mostly cloudy skies pick up in the overnight hours. Same thing in Victoria, lots of sunshine, 67 for the high today, already low 60s at noontime, and about the same thing in Cuero, maybe just a little bit cooler. We're looking for about 60 flat at noontime and about the mid 60s, 65 for the high today. Lots and lots of sunshine. And if you like that, we're going to be just like that for the weekend, only warming up a little bit back into the 70s and maybe even the low 80s for Sunday, but then the strong front arrives Sunday night, and that's going to drop our highs back to the 50s and lows to near or below freezing.
Brr.
And maybe some snow.
Oh, cross our fingers.
Yeah, everybody cross your fingers, right?
All right, Parker, well, thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
And thank you all for being with us. Join Shauna, Dawn, Maclovio, and Max today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10. And we leave you with an impressive fire display by the Kilauea volcano, which has been erupting since New Year's Eve, or rather Christmas Eve, excuse me. It's Mother Nature's way of bringing in the new year.